Any bad experiences in China? Apart from the fact that you had to bump into someone.
Bad experiences. I got scammed.
Mm.
Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, as a
How? Why like that, Wada Jim? Welcome back to my channel. Very soon, I'll be introducing my guest to share her experiences. If it's something you like to watch, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hi!
hi.
Welcome to my channel.
Thank you so much for having me. That's so nice.
Yeah. Do you mind introducing yourself to us?
So my name is Ophélie. I'm a French student.
Okay.
I'm doing currently a dual degree between France, Paris, and Shanghai at Fudan University, as you can see.
Okay. Okay. So, bon arrivé.
Thank you. Merci.
Okay. So how long have you been in China?
So it will be like since September 2024. So yeah,
Okay.
9 months.
Almost a year. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
How do you see China?
Mm, do you mean like do I see like from my experience or like from what
Yeah.
I okay.
Yeah,
So
from your experience.
from my experience, Chinese people are really nice.
Mm,
They
mm.
always try to help, even if you struggle a lot to understand because I'm not completely fluent in Chinese, but they're
Okay.
always here to help. Shanghai is greener, like there's a lot more nature that I was thinking of. Like you can hear
Mm,
the bird fly, but even if it's such a huge city, you still like can feel the nature.
okay.
Yeah, and food is really good.
Food is really good. Okay.
Yeah.
So before coming to China, did you have any perceptions?
So I think I always had like I did my bachelor. I always did my study like to go to China. That always has been my
Mm,
hand. So I always had like a lot of knowledge about China compared to other people in French who can have like a bad impression of China, like
mm,
cheap clothes or stuff like that. I always had like a kind of good impression because I fall in love with like the culture, was the history of the
mm.
country that I'm amazed by. So yeah, I always just wanted to come to China and to meet Chinese people so I can exchange and know more about
Mm-hmm.
like who Chinese people
Oh,
are and not only
okay.
what the media or like the perception we have in France that can be based. So yeah.
Mm,
So
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, how is it like to be a foreigner from Europe or from France here in China?
There is good and bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
How can I say? There is always like a kind of difference in treatment. Sometimes it helps us,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's not always useful. Um,
Yeah.
just like for the delivery, when you're on the phone and they tell you where to go, and you're like, "I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'm like confused," and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, they keep screaming, and I'm still like, I still don't understand even if you keep talking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but yeah, they can be really nice. Also, like they try to help us when they see a foreigners. So there is like the double. So some people help, some not. But I think we also have more freedom. Maybe sometimes we like
Mm-hmm.
we have the foreigner card, so we don't know. So sometimes they are more kind to us because we,
Yeah.
yeah, basically that's what I have.
Okay. So before coming to China, did you ever think you would meet other foreigners here in China?
Um. Well, I'm in the dual degree, so I knew I will have like so many uh other international student, and I
Mm-hmm.
already have an exchange experience in another country, so I knew that as an exchange student at the university you will still have like you always surrounded by like the international people, so but that's true that when you go deeper in China, like in the Yunnan or stuff like that, and you see everyone all the day like just turn around and say lao wei lao wei, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
wow, that's really strange, and everyone so yeah, so in the big city is like okay, they see a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes when you go deeper in China, is you see that they are not used to. So it's really
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. Um, How has your experience with the foreigners here in China been like? I know back in France, you're used to seeing people from all over the world. Is it any different here in China?
Um, so yes and no, but because I'm in the English track, so I see a lot of foreigner, like also from Europe. There's so many European.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
too many French in like in my university, like too much French. And I think we're separate kind of the other international student, like from more East Asia, but like more
Oh, okay.
bilingual in Chinese. So they will be more in the Chinese courses. So we don't have the same. So I meet more like European, American people. I have some Korean, but like since there is not that much Asian people in the English curriculum, you must have like international student that you're already used to. And I think there
Mm-hmm.
is more like diversity of like Asian country, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam, more in the Chinese track. So I'm kind of sad, so we don't really have meet a lot because of that.
Mm.
But I guess it's just yeah, just like that.
Yeah, I'll keep referencing France since you're from France. I know France has got a lot of good schools, I mean good universities. But why China?
Why did I choose China?
Yeah.
So as I said, like, okay, it's really long story. When I was back in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I started to learn Chinese in high school. So a long time ago, and so I really didn't know what I want to do, and I choose to pursue like my knowledge and my study in language because I was also learning Spanish and Chinese, and I think that um, I love to learn language. I think it's so like a good thing to do because when you start to learn a language, you start to learn a culture and all like other people live, their history, they believe, how to interact with people, and I find that deeply like amazing how you can learn so much from other people and their culture.
Mhm.
So that's why I start to learn Chinese, and I fell in love like the history and culture, as I said. So it was always my dream to go to China. I tried to go during my bachelor, but there was like the pandemic, the COVID, so it got shut down. So I tell
Mhm.
myself that I still want to go to China. I still want to like learn from inside what is really China, and that's what France, the media or stuff are saying. I want to experiment to like know for myself. So that's why I was like, I want to do a dual degree with China, so I can have like a dual degree with France. So if I want to keep my working or studying in France, I can. But I want to open that door. Like if I want to go to live and work in China, I can as well. So that's why I chose
Yeah.
China.
Okay. Are you here with family
Hmm?
or you are here alone?
So I'm here alone. I have some friend because since it's the dual degree, we had that the first year in France and the second year in China. So I knew some
Oh.
people from France and like
Oh, okay. 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 So you are not lonely here in
yeah.
China.
Oh,
Yeah, since you came. Mm-hmm.
yeah, which is kind of weird. Is I think I may want. I think it will be like a better maybe experience if I went
Mm-hmm.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will like think I will have made more connection with other people, like to meet their people from Uzbekistan that we don't really meet in France or like stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a good thing because when you get to China and it's a completely different way of living is really scary. But it's also like it kept me in kind of a comfort zone. So I didn't had like too much of the experience to meet people like I wanted. Since I'm really shy of people, I tend to relate a lot of people. So I don't go out that often. So it's a good thing and also a bad thing because I keep a bit like too much in my international zone, even though it's not really what I wanted to. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So you mentioned you like to keep to yourself, but have you traveled to any other part of China?
yeah, that's what I wanted to do, like so badly. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to Guilin to go like more into the side area. I went to Yunnan, to Kunming. I went to Xi'an, Beijing, of course, and I went
Yeah.
to Haikou as well in the Hainan. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Um, Any similarities between France and China? I know the weather may be a bit the same or similar, but any other similarities?
The weather not that similar because
Okay.
like in Shanghai there is so much wind and also
Mm-hmm.
typhoon. We doesn't have typhoon in France. So the first time I
Okay.
heard like there's a typhoon coming to Shanghai, and it was like, what is happening right now? Like, okay, are we going to die? What
Mm,
is going to happen? What are we supposed to do? But everything was nice. What is I think something in common that French people and Chinese people love food. You see food everywhere.
yeah.
Everyone wants to snack. But
Yes.
I feel it's not like
Mm-hmm.
only France and China. I feel it's like kind of everyone likes to eat.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is coming to China the first time you traveled outside France?
No. So
Okay.
I did a lot of like so I did an exchange in the US. Uh,
Oh,
I traveled, so I went to Peru and Vietnam for far location. So
mm-hmm.
yeah. So I did
Okay.
already have an experience of exchanging, so it was not as scary.
Oh, okay. What do you like most about China?
That's a good question. I like history. I'm deeply in love with
Mm,
history. Well, like the empire, what whole every kind of what happened in the history. I feel like China history culture is like huge. It's a big civilization. It's so interesting to still find the legacy of this past in the current China, even though it's like a completely different system, like with the new party and stuff like that. And also, I like people. I like to exchange with them. They're always really nice. They always smile, and you can always try to talk to them, even if it's hard sometimes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, any similarities between the educational system here in China and that of France?
So I will just talk about like the master level because it's all I
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
Um, so in France, in master, we don't really do research. In France, when you do a master, you will end up with like an internship for half of your
Mm-hmm.
last year. So it's more like training, is like a continuity of your bachelor, like to keep learning and stuff like that and have reflection. But in China, you have to write a paper. The research is like more like a preparation to do a PhD. I think it's really similar
Yeah.
to what is happening in the US and most of the world, but
Mm-hmm.
it's really different from France in the world working. So you have more this idea of research, and in France you think you more have this idea of questioning, like talking, presenting something, and now a bit more critical of what you think about this subject. And in research, you really like in China, you really have to have like data and prove everything. So I think you have more creativity in the way in France because no one is really going to tell you like, well, if you like if you reflection makes sense, it's like okay. So, but it's like more, it's less data supported. So I don't know, it's really different. In terms of classes, I think we have more classes in France compared to China. So the workload is different, but we still have a lot to do during the classes in China. So there's like tiny differences, but at the end, I think is like I don't see like that huge of differences. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. You mentioned earlier that you like Chinese food. What's your favorite Chinese food?
I love 包子, like
Oh,
牛肉饺子. I love them.
okay.
There's good chaozi as well. They're so good. I love them.
Okay. 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 Um, do you miss foods from France or you don't mind eating anything?
Yeah, I do mind. Well,
Mm,
since I'm living on campus, we have a canteen, so I'm not really cooking. So,
okay.
so yeah, sometimes we realize with my friend that Chinese food is much there's much oil that we expect. Like in France, when you think about Chinese food, you will be like, oh, there's a bit of it's a bit oily, but it's like kind of healthy with vegetables and stuff like that. And when you come to
Yeah.
to China, there's a lot of fried chicken, oil everywhere. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's not as healthy I was thinking. I wanted to lose weight, so it's not a good thing for me. But yeah,
So you think if you want to lose weight, China is not the place for you, right?
no, no. And compared to France, food is so cheap. So every time you're like, it's okay, it's worth it. So let's just eat and enjoy. Like
Okay. Um, any cultural shocks?
cultural shock. Um, well, I feel like everything is so different. So yeah, you have cultural shock. I think every day.
Hmm.
Like just like the basic one, like using the app for everything, like Weixin or
Mm-hmm.
Fuba.
Yeah.
But the biggest, I think, for French people is like speeding, like or
Yeah.
farting in the street. It's like every time we're looking like people like, what you did just that in like this really? Yeah, this and is also with some friends like people don't hold the door. Like you see that someone is
Yeah.
coming behind, but you leave the door like in their face. It's
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
so it's really like every time. And also like how they drive. Like I'm biking on campus or like outside, so
Mm-hmm.
it's all this
Mm-hmm.
queer like just it's such a mess. Like usually you
Yes.
keep your right, and like I got someone in front of me, and I was on the right. So I was like they're going to move. At the end, no one moved, so we just like bumped into each other. So I was like,
Sorry.
fine. But like, so yeah, that's tiny stuff. Like yeah.
Mm, mm. Okay. Any bad experiences in China? Apart from the fact that you had to bump into someone.
Bad experiences. I got scammed.
Mm.
Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, as a
How?
so, I was with my friend. So we were in Guilin and we went really far in Didi in the city, and we ordered another Didi in this place. And my friend in front was trying to talk with the driver to like work on our Chinese and like discuss. And she told him that we get to go back quickly to our hotel because we had to take a flight to go back to Shanghai.
Yeah.
And so the guy said, okay, he made us a proposition to like, okay, if you pay me this amount, I can drive you back and keep you. And we're like, okay, we don't really know, so we don't want to engage ourselves, so no. And it was like, okay, so pay me 20 yuan more, or else like I'm just bumping you. And it was like in the middle of the street, like in the middle of the mountain road. And we were like, but we already pay. It's not like you're not supposed to do that. So it just stopped in the middle of the road and was like pressuring us, like, you have to
Mm.
pay more, or I'm just leaving you in the middle of the mountain. So we end up having to have to pay more. But I know like I heard other story of people having to pay even bigger sum, but just like,
Yeah.
so we have to pay like
Yeah.
20 yuan more when, so it was like that.
Okay.
Mm.
Guys, this is just her experience, and scamming people is everywhere in the world.
Mm.
Okay, so please don't come for her.
Yeah, yeah, of course. There's so many
Yeah,
other people are nice. Yeah, yeah. So,
yeah. This is just one of her bad experiences. Okay. Any good experience?
yeah, so many. So I met a lot of people who try to help, like in Guilin as well. I met a lot of Xiaopangyou, like a small friend. So taking
Yeah.
pictures. So I had like everyone, someone asked a picture. I want them. So I was like asking everyone waiting, like, send me the picture, please. So I got like so
Yeah.
many contact like that. And so in Guilin, I made a small like a Xiaopangyou, and so he doing some vocal sometimes on Weixin. So I like how Tie. So I'm like trying to helping like you have to learn English and to travel and come to France so we can meet each other and you can travel and I will help you. And also I went to Haikou for cultural festival between France and China because it was like um, the 60th anniversary of Franco-Chinese relation last year.
Yeah.
And I met so many small girl was so nice and we danced and it was so nice to exchange with like little kid because they were like trying to talk so much. I'm like trying to keep up
Yeah.
and we dance and we have so much fun. So I love that. Yeah. That
Mm.
was my best
Okay.
experience.
Yeah. You mentioned you like to keep to yourself. Do you take part in school activities or you're like me who is always in your room? You don't care.
So I didn't had that much of school activities because I think it's more like I wanted to. I went to the school like a group fair, like club fair. I went, but like I'm so shy, so I don't like allow myself to try. I'm like, if everyone is going to keep speaking Chinese, I'm just going to get confused. So I tend to stay in my room. Yeah, I like exchange and go out with friends. So yeah, but so I did
Okay.
this. That's why I wanted to do this festival so I can like go out and
Mm.
experience a bit of China. Yeah.
Okay. When you come to China, they are far advanced in technology. Is there anything you found here in China that you wish France had?
So I'm kind of an old lady on new technology.
Mm,
Like for a room, for instance, you can just have like you have a QR code of your student card, so just have to scan it.
mhm.
But all the time, I'm like, no, I need my physical card. It's safer.
Yeah,
I'm an old person on that, but I love a fast delivery. Like if you miss something,
yeah.
do some recipe, you just have like 2 click and everyone is brought to your house. And how you can easily like interact with people because of new technology. Like when you go to do like for the mobile, like to get a SIM card, sorry.
Mhm,
They all have like the tiny translator so we can keep up. So I think it's more advanced because sometimes in other country, if you cannot express yourself, it's not the other person who's just going to try to
mhm.
help you express, which is different in China. And yeah,
Yeah,
like Olama and just ordering your food all the time so easily. I love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. You're in China, right? Let's say this nice Chinese guy approached you and asked you to be his girlfriend. Would you accept?
Like theoretically, yes. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
against it, but I already have someone back in France who is like, his mom
Oh.
is Chinese, so is half
Mm.
Chinese. So
Oh,
yeah, he's half Chinese. So he come for Chinese New Year because he's from Zhejiang,
okay.
like in
Mm-hmm.
of Shanghai. So I met his grandma, his Weipo, and I spent a Chinese New Year in like surrounded by Chinese people talking like the
Mm-hmm.
dialects. So it was even harder to keep up. But yeah, I
Oh.
find like Chinese like you have to listen to C-pop and like watch C-drama because they are so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. She already has someone. But then, how is it like to date a half Chinese? Oh, like how is it like?
but well, he was raised in France, so he's like a French mentally.
Oh, he's more
But
like a French. Okay.
yeah, but his mom is only speaking Chinese, so I love to go there because she always cooking like delicious Chinese food. So I have a lot
Oh.
of 有种包子 she can
Mm.
amazing for the
Okay.
food.
Okay. 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 That's fun. Okay. Your last words.
Mhm.
Do you have anything else to say? I mean, your last words.
My last word will be for foreigners, for French people, like come to visit China because I think you have to experience a country before making any judgment about it before, and you cannot like if you have a bad experience like being scammed, it doesn't define the whole population.
Yes.
Just come and try to enjoy, and even if you're lost because of the language, I think like people will always try to help. And for Chinese, like if there is any Chinese people, I like your country. I love it. I love to exchange, and I love your culture. You have such a rich culture, and I think you should, and you are part of it, and it's amazing. And also, I hope that you can travel around the world because I met a lot of Chinese people that are not going out. But I think it's also like going in the two way that we have to come to your country to learn more about who you truly are, and you have to also go to other country to like learn who other people in the world are. And I think it's like what we're all supposed to do to build a peaceful world. And so just travel and exchange with people is the best thing to do in this life. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Travel and exchange with people is the best thing to do in this life. Guys, if you enjoyed watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks very much for honoring my invitation.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, guys, we'll end it here. Bye.